Europe's railways are home to living legends, steam locomotives that refuse to fade into history. Join us as we count down the top 10 most iconic steam engines still thundering down the tracks today. Number 10. SNCF 141 R Class, France. Here's a locomotive most Americans have never heard of, but the French know it well. The 141R was built in massive numbers after World War II, with over 1,300 units constructed between 1945 and 1952. Many were actually built in the United States and Canada under the Marshall Plan and shipped to France to rebuild the war-torn railway system. These workhorses weren't glamorous, they weren't fast, but they were reliable, powerful, and they kept France moving during its darkest hours. Today, several 141 rupees are preserved and run on heritage railways across France. You can catch them on special excursions, particularly in the Auvergne region. What makes the 141R special? It's a symbol of resilience, a reminder that sometimes the greatest locomotives aren't the record breakers, but the ones that simply showed up and did the work when it mattered most. Number 9. ÖBB 52 Class Austria. The 52 class, also known as the Kriegslokomotive or war locomotive, has a dark history. Over 6,000 of these machines were built by Nazi Germany during World War II, designed for one purpose: moving troops and supplies across occupied Europe. They were built fast, built cheap, and built to be expendable. But here's where the story gets interesting. After the war, many of these locomotives were rebuilt and continued serving railways across Europe for decades. Austria's ÖBB railway kept several in service until the 1970s, and today, a handful are preserved and operational. You can ride behind a 52 class on heritage railways in Austria, particularly on the Maria-Zella-Bahn and other mountain routes. These locomotives are a sobering reminder of history, but also a testament to engineering that outlasted the regime that created it. Number 8. LMS Royal Scot Class, United Kingdom. Now we're getting into British royalty. The Royal Scot Class was built in 1927 for the London, Midland and Scottish Railway, designed to haul express passenger trains between London and Scotland. These locomotives were fast, powerful and elegant, with their distinctive red livery and streamlined design. The most famous of the class, number 6100 Royal Scot itself, toured the United States in 1933, covering over 11,000 miles and wowing American audiences with British engineering prowess. Today, several Royal Scots are preserved, with number 6115 Scots, Guardsmen being the most active, regularly hauling mainline excursions across the UK. You can catch the Royal Scot on special charter trains, often running the West Coast Main Line between London and Scotland, the very route it was designed for nearly a century ago. Riding behind one of these machines is like stepping into a time machine, experiencing the golden age of British rail travel. Number 7. DB Class 01, Germany. Germany's Class 01 represents the pinnacle of Deutsche Reichsbahn steam locomotive design. Built between 1925 and 1938, these express passenger locomotives were designed for speed and efficiency, capable of hauling heavy trains at speeds exceeding 80 miles per hour. Over 230 Class 01s were built, and they served Germany through the pre-war years, World War II, and well into the 1970s in both East and West Germany. Today, several are preserved and operational, with Class 01150 and 01202 being among the most active. What makes the Class 01 special is its versatility. These locomotives ran everything from express passenger services to freight trains, adapting to whatever Germany needed. You can ride behind a Class 01 on heritage railways throughout Germany, particularly on the Harz narrow gauge railway and on mainline excursions. The sight of a Class 1 thundering through the German countryside, smoke billowing, whistle screaming, is pure mechanical poetry. Number 6. GWR King Class, United Kingdom. The Great Western Railway's King Class locomotives were the most powerful passenger locomotives ever built in Britain. Introduced in 1927, These massive machines were designed to haul the heaviest express trains over the challenging gradients of the West of England main line. Only 30 Kings were ever built, and they were treated like royalty. Each was named after a British king, with number 6000 King George V being the most famous. In 1927, King George V toured the United States just like the Royal Scot, and even hauled the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad's Royal Blue Train. Today, only 2 kings survive. Number 6023 King Edward II is under restoration, but number 6000 King George V is operational and occasionally runs mainline excursions. Seeing a King class in action is rare, which makes it all the more special. These locomotives represent British engineering at its absolute peak. Powerful, elegant, and built to last. If you get a chance to ride behind King George V, don't hesitate. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Number 5, LNER A1 Class Flying Scotsman, United Kingdom. Now we're entering legendary territory. The Flying Scotsman isn't just a locomotive, it's a cultural icon. Built in 1923 for the London and North Eastern Railway, Flying Scotsman was the first locomotive to officially reach 100 miles per hour, achieving this milestone in 1934. But speed records are only part of the story. Flying Scotsman hauled the famous Flying Scotsman Express service between London and Edinburgh, a route that became synonymous with luxury and speed. The locomotive toured the United States and Australia, becoming an international celebrity. After retirement, Flying Scotsman was saved from the scrapyard by businessman Alan Pegler, who ran it on enthusiast specials throughout the 1960s. It changed hands several times before being acquired by the National Railway Museum in 2004. After a decade-long, multi-million-dollar restoration, Flying Scotsman returned to the main line in 2016. Today, Flying Scotsman runs regular excursions across the UK, and tickets sell out in minutes. Riding behind this legend is on every railway enthusiast's bucket list. The locomotive runs mainline tours throughout the year, and you can check the National Railway Museum's website for the 2025 schedule. What makes Flying Scotsman so special? It's not just the speed records or the history, it's the fact that this locomotive has captured the public imagination like no other. It's a symbol of British engineering excellence, and it's still going strong over 100 years after it was built. Number 4, LNER A1 Class Mallard, United Kingdom. If Flying Scotsman is famous, Mallard is legendary. On July 3, 1938, Mallard set the world speed record for steam locomotives, reaching 126 miles per hour on a stretch of track near Grantham, England. That record still stands today, 87 years later, and it will likely never be broken. Mallard was part of the A4 class, a series of streamlined locomotives designed by Sir Nigel Gresley for high-speed express services. The A4s were sleek, aerodynamic, and fast, designed to compete with the emerging diesel and electric trains of the era. Here's the catch. Mallard is currently static, displayed at the National Railway Museum in York. It hasn't run since the 1980s, and there are no current plans to return it to operation. The museum considers Mallard too historically significant to risk on the main line. But, and this is important, other A4 class locomotives are still running. Number 60,007 Sir Nigel Gresley and number 60,009 Union of South Africa both operate regular mainline excursions across the UK. Riding behind an A4 is the closest you'll get to experiencing what Mallard achieved in 1938. The A4s are works of art. Their streamlined design, their distinctive whistle, their incredible speed. These locomotives represent the absolute pinnacle of steam locomotive design, and the fact that you can still ride behind one in 2025 is nothing short of miraculous. Number 3, FS Class 685, Italy. Italy's contribution to steam locomotive history often gets overlooked, but the Class 685 deserves recognition. Built between 1912 and 1928, these powerful 262 locomotives were designed for mixed traffic, hauling both passenger and freight trains over Italy's challenging mountain routes. What makes the Class 685 special is its longevity. These locomotives served Italy through 2 world wars, the fascist era, and well into the 1970s. Several are preserved and operational today, running heritage services on scenic routes through Tuscany and the Italian Alps. The Class 685 isn't as famous as the British legends, but it's a beautiful machine with a distinctive Italian flair. The sight of one of these locomotives climbing through the Tuscan hills, whistle echoing off ancient stone villages, is unforgettable. You can ride behind a Class 685 on the Ferrovia Vigazzina, a scenic railway connecting Italy and Switzerland, or on special excursions organized by Italian railway preservation societies. Number 2. SNCF 231 Class, France. France's 231 class represents the golden age of French steam. Built in the 1920s and 1930s, these elegant 462 Pacific locomotives hauled express passenger trains across France, including the famous Blue Train to the French Riviera. The 231s were fast, powerful, and beautiful, with their distinctive streamlined casings and Art Deco styling. They represented French engineering at its finest, competing with the best locomotives Britain and Germany had to offer. Today, several 231s are preserved, with 231 K8 being the most famous. This locomotive is operational and runs special excursions, particularly on routes through Normandy and Brittany. The 231 K8 is maintained to museum standards and represents French steam preservation at its best. Riding behind a 231 is like stepping into a French film from the 1930s. The elegance, the style, the romance of rail travel, it's all there, preserved and operational for a new generation to experience. Number 1. LNER A1 Class Tornado, United Kingdom. Wait, what? Tornado at number 1? But Tornado was built in 2008, not the 1920s. How can a modern locomotive be the most iconic? Here's why. Tornado represents something even more remarkable than preservation. It represents resurrection. The A1 class was a legendary design, with 49 locomotives built between 1948 and 1949. But by 1966, every single one had been scrapped. The entire class was extinct. Then, in 1990, a group of dedicated enthusiasts decided to do the impossible. They would build a new A1 from scratch, using the original 1940s blueprints. It took 18 years, cost over $5 million, and required the skills of hundreds of volunteers and professional engineers. On August 1st, 2008, Tornado steamed for the first time, a brand new steam locomotive built to 1940s standards, running in the 21st century. It was a miracle of engineering and determination. Since then, Tornado has hauled mainline excursions across the UK, reaching speeds of 100 miles per hour and proving that steam locomotive technology is far from dead. Tornado runs regular tours throughout the year, and you can book tickets through the A1 Steam Locomotive Trust. What makes Tornado number 1 isn't just its performance, it's what it represents. In an age of electric trains and high-speed rail, a group of people decided that steam locomotives still mattered, that the skills, the craftsmanship, the sheer mechanical beauty of these machines deserved to be preserved and celebrated. Tornado is proof that the age of steam isn't over, it's just evolving. So there you have it, the top 10 most iconic European steam locomotives still running today. From the workhorses of France to the speed demons of Britain, these machines represent the pinnacle of mechanical engineering. And the best part, you can still experience them. But here's my question for you. Which of these locomotives would you most want to ride behind? Are you Team Flying Scotsman, Team Mallard, or are you rooting for the underdog like the Italian Class 685? Drop your answer in the comments below. And if you're planning a trip to Europe in 2025, do yourself a favor. Book a ticket on one of these heritage railways. Feel the heat from the firebox. Hear the whistle scream. Experience the raw power of steam. Because these locomotives won't run forever and every journey is a gift. If you enjoyed this countdown, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We've got more incredible railway history coming your way. Until next time, keep chasing steam.